Craig Cohen 87 here with episode 199 of the Iron Man. Oh yeah. Today is going to be a simple shoulder day, where there will not be much changes as far as weight and reps are concerned. I do plan on benchmarking last week's workout. My shoulders have been growing nicely. I think there's no reason to change anything that I've been doing. So I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm not going to be going up and doing some crazy weight for sure. And, I'm going to gauge and see how the workout's going. And, there may be adjustments that have to be made. Maybe I'm feeling a little stronger. Maybe I'm feeling a little weaker. But of course, going no failure, giving my maximum effort, nothing changes with that. That's always going to be the case no matter how light I lift, with good technique. And I just got to remember to make the movement as hard as possible. The goal isn't for it to be easy. This isn't an efficiency contest. This is a muscle fiber breakdown competition. And I got to beat last week's Craig Cohen 87, episode 193, I'm guessing. Yeah, that was 5 ago. No, 194 would have been 5 ago. Anyways. And I definitely like how I did the posing routine yesterday. I'm gonna do it again like that. I'm not gonna go through it twice and not count. I want to do at least 10 seconds per movement, but maybe I'll do 15 seconds because 10 wasn't that bad. Really try to hold it 15 seconds, because when I'm up there and they call a pose, I gotta hold it until they call the next pose. And even when they call a pose, like between poses, they'll say like front relaxed. Usually that's the in-between pose. And the front relaxed pose isn't super easy. It is one of the easier poses, but I still have at least a partial vacuum. So I may be holding that vacuum for quite a while. So I should be able to do that vacuum like it's second nature. And I don't really have to suck it in any more than I already am, although I will a bit more. But as I become leaner, it's just going to look more and more carved out. Yeah. And really, that's about it, It's a shoulder day. The shoulders aren't massive muscles. It's basically about not giving up, taking the set as far as I can, consistently as I can, and not getting injured, because it's easy to hurt the shoulders, Like, how many times do you hear from somebody, oh, my shoulder, And going to the gym doesn't necessarily fix that problem. It could make it worse if you're doing an exercise incorrectly and lifting heavier and heavier. And also, there's cumulative damage. So you may not injure yourself, and this really goes for any body part, or even anything you do, shoveling snow, if you're lifting boxes at work. You may not injure yourself in that moment, but doing it for like 10, 20 years, repetition over and over and over again, it's cumulative. Where am I going with this? I have no idea. But I'm sure I had a point when I thought about it. So I think I'll leave us off right here. Well, not leaving us off. I'm leaving off the pregame show, and I'll see you in the gym. In the gym, as promised. So a couple of things. Obviously, machine side lateral raises. Did 65 for 15-15 last week. I'm going to lower it 5 pounds to 60 pounds. I want to control on I want to emphasize the technique. And I am trying to beat 15 here. But only high quality reps. I raised the seat up a little bit to try to maybe line up my elbows a little bit better. We'll see how that goes. Tweaking a few things. But I don't expect a significant departure from last week. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Wow. I really like the seat raised. Feeling the belts even more. Set number 1's in the books, and it was a good one. Set number 2, and I'm going to lower it significantly from last week. Last week I did 55 pounds. This week will be 45 pounds. What I think I got 14 reps, but we're not really going to use that as a benchmark. I'm setting a new benchmark here. 1, control. 2, control the negative. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I want to make it feel heavy. 8, 9, 10, 11. Getting hard. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What was that? 17, 6? Beautiful set. Beautiful. One more to go. Third and final. Down to 20 pounds. Let's see if I can hit 20 reps. Feels light, I can tell you that right off the bat. 1, control. Let's make it feel heavy. 2. I don't want to just get through it. 3, 4. I want to break down muscle fibers. 5. Get as close to failure as possible. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Starting to burn. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 2015. Shizer. Very good set. Let's go hit some dumbbell presses. Set number 1, dumbbell shoulder press. And I am feeling a little bit weaker than last week. Last week I got the 85 for 8.5 reps. And you know, guys, I like 10 reps. So I'm going to go down to 75. Keep that quality up. And see how many I get. And if I need to go down next week, I'll go down next week. All right?
Going like a minute each. But like the minute they go pop.
Yeah, no.
I don't know if it's I'll say it a little bit, but it's definitely like what? And it's what?
Control negative. All the way down. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
I'm like great.
9, 10. Slow negative.
When I get the break, when I get the break, let's go.
Pretty good.
You should.
Set number 2. I'm going to go down to 60s from 65. Again, I want at least 10 reps, just like last set. I think I nailed the weight perfectly. That's exactly how I want to do it. And with that super controlled negative at the last rep to get every last ounce of, what do you call it, glucose in the muscle burn.
I just like
Or glycogen. Here we go.
and then so like not like yet. So I've been doing like drop in every day for like 2 weeks. Yeah, like $200 and like fucking I try to do good stuff. So I'm probably gonna end up at Apt, which is like one of my best friends. See where stuff else. So you got
Four.
yeah, but I feel like not a chin to get
Five.
so much to do. I don't like that.
Six.
Yeah, like I don't want to ruin it.
Seven.
I don't like the neon stuff. I don't know. Yeah, I just sound senior.
9. One more.
It's hard for ideal, but I can still impress by your deck on that.
10. Slow.
I'm the interview.
Beautiful.
Set number 1. I'm going to do the side laterals with the dumbbells. And I am going to lighten it a bit. I went up to 40s last week and I thought they were too heavy, engaging too much back. I want it to be all side delt. So I'm going to tweak the technique a little bit. I'm going to try to keep my elbows bent a little in, but keep it. And really lead with the elbows up. All right, 27.5. Let's see what I got. 1, 2. I gotta make it feel hard. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, burning, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 23, excellent. Set number 2, really liked how the first set went. 23 reps is a bit high, but I don't want to go heavier than that. So let's go down to 25. That's a pretty small drop. See how many I get. High quality reps. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slower. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Not bad. I want to save the LLPs for the third set. Third and final set down to 22.5, just like before, and I'm going to try to add some small ones at the end. 1. Wait, that's a bad one. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, there we go. 25. Beautiful. Set number 1. It's going to be a superset, the ISO hammer shoulder press. And with the dumbbell front raises. A couple of things. I'm going to go a little bit lighter on this. I did 230 for 14 reps. I'm only going to go down to 220. And then I'll figure out the taper as I go along. And I did 20 pounds last week for the front race. I want to go lighter and I want to go slower. I got to tell myself, I am not trying to get through the exercise. I want the burn. I want it to be painful. I want it to be torture. That's why I'm here. I chose this profession. So don't cry when something is difficult, all right? But I forget very frequently, so that's important that I meditate. All right? My rant is over. Let's do this shit. Ugh, I don't need the pads for that. There's already padding on here. One. Two. Three. Four. Five. Six. Seven. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. Slow. Beautiful. Now I want to go very slow over here. Stagger a bit. 1. 2. 3. 4. Starting to burn. 5. 6. 7. Oh yeah. 8. I want to give up. 9. 10. 11. 12. That's it. Last two are ugly, but I still felt them. 90 seconds begins right now. Set number 2. Super happy with set number 1. I want another replay of that. I took 10 pounds off each side, so at 200. And then based on how I feel, I'll either do the 15s or I'll go down to the 10s. I want to at least do 10 reps slow. And if that means dropping the weight, then that's what it means. All right, here we go. Oh, don't need these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, one more. 12, slow. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh yeah. Really good. One more set to go. Third and final set. Down to 180. And I'll go with the 10s for the last set. Don't need these bad boys. Let's end on a good positive note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, he's getting hurt, 9, 10, 11, 12, that's it. Whew. All right, let's go find a place to pose down.
Alrighty, time to discuss. So overall, I'm very happy with the workout. I think I took pretty much all my sets to failure. Happy with the range of motion. The quality is there. Very happy with that. No pain. Power is definitely going down a tiny bit, but I'm also down in weight. So last week, I think I was 233.2. And this morning, I was 232. So that's 1.2 pounds down. You know, that's going to affect my strength a bit. But it didn't drop off a cliff. It was just a little bit lower. But, you know, I think I was a little too heavy last week when I was doing the dumbbell shoulder press. I did 85s for 8.5. You guys know I like 10 or better. Even though the rep range is 8 to 12, I don't like doing 8. It's not enough for me. So I got 10 with 75 pounders, and those were high quality reps. Those were slow, controlled, textbook. That's how I want them to be. And then on that very last rep, when I knew I couldn't do another one, it was like a 10-second negative, you know, really get every last bit of effort out of the muscles, you know, squeezing every last drop. Let's see, the side lateral raises went very well. I did 40 last week, which again, I could lift heavier, but the problem is I ended up using my back muscles, like the traps behind the neck, to get the weight up, which I don't want to do. I'm trying to avoid that, you know. So the highest set I went, if you recall, the third set last week of the dumbbell side lateral raises, I said that was the best one with 30 pounds. And this week I said, you know what, I'm going to do 27.5. That'll be my top set. And even though I got 23 reps, which is a little high, it was still to failure. You know, I can't be afraid of that. If that's where I need to be for that exercise, it's not a power movement. If that's where I need to be, that's where I'll be, you know. And that'll be the new benchmark. And I don't think I'm going to be going up anytime soon. I'm just going to go slower and more controlled. Let's see, what else was there? The iso hammer press with the dumbbell front raises, that went very well. I went lighter and slower. Last week I went really, really fast to try to get up that weight, the 20-pound dumbbells again. The muscle doesn't know what the weight is, only my brain does. And in my head I'm thinking, I gotta get stronger or I'm not getting bigger. Which, there's a little bit of truth to that, but not when your weight's coming down. When your weight's coming down, you're trying to hang on to your strength, not gain strength. You know, you gotta be realistic. The only way the weight's gonna go up is if I start utilizing momentum and start minimizing the range of motion and speeding up the pace. Because, you know, if you've ever lifted weights before, I say this all the time, but really I'm just saying this for myself. If you ever lifted weights before, the faster you go, the more reps you'll get. You know, it's not, you didn't just magically become stronger. So I'm supposed to be doing the tempo at the exact same rate every time I train. And then there's the posing, which I'm really happy with the posing. I'm a lot further ahead than I thought. But I'm not used to counting to 15 seconds. So I'm kind of all over the place. And holding my breath kind of gets me a bit confused. But I'm happy I'm having these problems now. I'd rather have them now than on stage. So, you know, I get a little lightheaded, you know, with my gut sucked in for 15 seconds. And then I'm like, uh-oh, which pose is next? And then I'm like, what? I do the wrong pose. That's going to slowly go away over time. But now's when I want to deal with it. And I keep saying I'm going to count to 15 seconds, but I forget to stop at 15 and I go to 20. But then sometimes I'm counting fast, so that I want to make sure I hit 20 to guarantee that I'm actually hitting 15 real seconds. So I'm kind of all over the place. But again, with repetition, it's going to become better and better and better. And, you know, holding the pose is far more important than just getting into the pose. Getting into the pose is one thing to learn them, but I got to be able to hold the pose until the judge gives the next pose and change. You know, I got to be there standing next to everybody in that lineup, holding the pose as well as possible. So I will go back and forth between the vacuum and then, let's say, pushing out the abs for the six-pack kind of thing. So I could get my breath again and then hit the vacuum. So I will have to play around with that a bit. And I got to find how it looks, because the vacuum will always look superior, you know? It gets that waist nice and small, it gives me that V taper. And as I lose weight, it'll just become more and more impressive. That's just true of everybody, not just me. But overall, happy with the workout. Excellent. It's going to be leg day. It's going to be leg day and lats tomorrow, and I do the leg press. And I won't be doing 900 pounds. It'll be 810 max. 810 max, nice and slow, nice and deep. And then probably 720. And then probably 630. Go back down again, you know? And again, the goal is if I have to keep the reps a little higher, that's good. And you know what? If I'm getting too many reps, I'll go slower. And the goal, again, is to get these legs as big as possible, not to press as much weight as possible. Now, there is a correlation, of course. I've already discussed this. But it's probably not as high a correlation as I or most people think. Especially not when you're trying to retain muscle versus build it. But, you know, I've been training 21 years, and I'm still a student, and I'm going to remain a student even after 31 years. Every year I train, I learn more and more. I become better and better. Next year I'm going to be better than this year. That's just a fact. If I'm not, I will retire. You know, as long as I continue to get better, that's what drives me to keep going. If I can't get better, then there's no reason to continue. But I'm definitely getting way better from year to year. So the future looks bright, and it's full steam ahead. And I really can't wait for May. But I'm not in a rush. I want to learn more, because I know the longer May takes to get here, the perception of it, the more I can learn, the more I can grasp. And I really got to nail down the posing, you know? I think really that's my limiting factor. How well I'm going to perform on that stage on show day. Because I lose weight very easily. I have good genetics for that. I peak really well. But my posing game, it's been pathetic, you know? But I used to never pose every day. I would pose like a couple of times, you know, maybe 10 weeks out before the show. And obviously I pose 5 days a week now. 6 days if you count the check-in, which you should count the check-in. So 6 days a week. And I've been doing it since almost the beginning of starting this show. Boy. Well, in February, it'll be a year. And tomorrow will be episode 200. But you know what? I knew I was going to hit 200. I don't mean that to showboat or anything. It's just that once I'm locked in on an idea, it's just a matter of when. It's not a question of if. That's how I am. I'm very stubborn. I'm very laser focused. And I love repetition, you know? It's more than just lifting the weights. It's about performing at work, performing on YouTube, performing with my diet, performing with sleep. Everything I do, I try to do it as well as I can. I take notes. I try to improve upon it. And I guess that's just my personality, which is kind of a genetic, well, maybe not directly. Again, I don't know. I'm just speculating, but it could be a genetic component to just being so OCD, and I'm just obsessed. Like a psycho when it comes to this stuff, you know? People don't believe it, but I'm at work and they're giving away free meals, you know, which are pretty good. It's like a souvlaki and with rice and all the Reese's peanut butter cups you can eat, Coke and all that, cans of Coke, just handing it out. And like, I like that stuff, don't get me wrong. I don't find unhealthy food disgusting. I'm not one of those people. If it's not in my meal plan, I don't eat it. So I eat my own meal, and I'm happy with it. I'm not even tempted, you know. Once you go like a month without eating things that aren't planned in your diet, it actually becomes easier. So for anybody that's starting a diet and find it's difficult, it's actually as hard as it's ever going to be, like on day one, and then it's all downhill from there. If you stick with it, it does get easier. I'm not even tempted. Although there is going to be a Christmas party / Hanukkah party on December 27th at my aunt's, and we got a bunch of cousins coming in. My dad's going to be there. Hopefully my sister comes. And I've spoke about it with my coach, and that's going to be a refeed day. So I will be indulging in some chocolate, but it won't be for all day. It'll just be at the party. And then it goes right back to normal, you know. And I'll enjoy it. And I take pleasure right now in knowing I'm going to have it in December. And then snap my fingers, day is over, go right back to measuring every grain of rice I put in my meal. And I wouldn't have it any other way. All right? So thank you very much for watching. And until next time, peace out.